There are literally millions of apps right now claiming they will do all your AI editing, taking your long-form footage and magically spitting out polished clips for social media. Honestly, most of these tools are just fancy templates with a pretty user interface, or they are just straight-up marketing gimmicks that don't really do the heavy lifting. They might handle basic repurposing, like chopping a long podcast into shorts, but they generally lack the nuance required for high-quality, professional-looking video edits. That used to be the industry story for years, but after testing basically everything on the market, the tool we have started using for real-world work is Vizard. It has genuinely changed the game for our production workflow, and just for full disclosure, this video isn't sponsored by them at all. We are just genuinely excited about it, and I want to walk you through exactly why it has become our go-to choice and what it does differently than the rest. To be completely transparent, I come from a traditional professional editor background, having spent years cutting in Avid, Premiere, Final Cut, and DaVinci Resolve. I have lived the messy, glorious timeline life and spent countless hours doing the exact same repetitive housekeeping edits like removing pauses and closing gaps. You can find some AI-ish features in standard software like Premiere now, but in my experience, they are rarely built around the actual editorial decisions you make as a storyteller. They usually just find an error and yank it out, like a robotic find and replace command. And half the time you lose the actual rhythm or emotional meaning of a sentence. What Vizard does differently is that it is clearly built with creators in mind, rather than just engineers designing flashy, gimmicky toys. It effectively reads your long-form video and intelligently identifies the exact moments that actually work well as standalone, engaging clips. That is the core value proposition here. Auto-editing viral clips that don't just feel like random, unconnected snippets of boring footage. You end up with short, concise videos that genuinely feel like they were crafted with intent to be shared and consumed on social media. We are talking about capturing the highlight moments, the big punchlines, and the emotional beats that a human editor would pick after watching the whole thing. The actual workflow for us has become stupidly simple now, which is a massive upgrade compared to how we used to operate. We upload or point Vizard at our raw recordings, it analyzes the footage to find potential highlights, and then we just pick through those suggestions. Usually, we are just tweaking the tone or the exact length, because in a lot of cases, the first pass is already 90% correct. That is a huge advantage when you are trying to create consistent output across all your different social media platforms. Instead of spending hours manually cutting and recutting, we get to act as directors, deciding which camera angle to push, what thumbnails to test, and what captions to try. All the heavy, tedious lifting is already done for us, allowing us to focus on the creative strategy instead. A lot of people ask me, but what about Descript? Doesn't that do text-based editing as well? Yeah, Descript is solid and their transcript-first approach is incredibly slick, but it is really focused on being an all-around editor with text at the center. For many creators that is perfect, but the issue is that many of those tools still need a ton of manual rules or templates to get an edit that matches your personal voice. They can also be a bit fiddly when you need to scale up to dozens of different clips every single week. Other apps that promise one-click edits often just drop your content into a basic template and call it a day, which usually looks generic. Vizard, on the other hand, is uniquely tuned for discovery. It actively finds the viral moments and formats them specifically for the platforms you care about. Another feature I really appreciate is the auto-scheduling, because let's be real, posting consistently is the absolute hardest part of growing an audience. You can plan an awesome week of content, but manually scheduling everything is boring and very easy to procrastinate on. With Vizard, you set the posting frequency, say 3 shorts per week, and it will queue the clips and post them automatically according to that cadence. You can still tweak the calendar, change the order, or swap clips out, but the default setting does the work for you. For teams or solo creators running at scale, that is a massive productivity multiplier that saves you hours of admin time. And the content calendar itself isn't just a basic calendar, it is basically a complete command center for your production. You can see which clips are scheduled, edit metadata, change thumbnails, and push to multiple platforms all in one single place. We have used separate social schedulers before, and it is always a pain to sync edits across them. Having a single pane of glass for the whole short-form pipeline feels like a small thing until it saves you an hour of work every single day. People also worry about control, and some folks hear the word AI and imagine it will make choices they hate. That is not at all how we use Vizard, because you don't passively accept whatever it spits out, you actually guide it. We have built a simple set of editing rules that mimic what our human editor used to do, like closing gaps without losing natural rhythm. When you give the AI context like that, the results are remarkably predictable and aligned with your brand. In practice, it means a base edit that is 95% done in just a few minutes, not hours. You still do the human lift for things like final titles or tiny trims, but you are not rebuilding the whole clip from scratch. Audio cleanup is another thing people obsess over, and there are tools like Adobe's studio processing that are quite impressive. Vizard's workflow includes easy audio polishing, so your clips sound way better than the raw file without needing to be an audio nerd. A little toggle, maybe dial the intensity down a notch, and your voice sounds cleaner with less room echo and more consistency. For viewers, that clarity matters far more than perfect EQ. They just notice immediately if something sounds off. One of the things I love is how Vizard doesn't try to be every single thing. It focuses on the creator, clips, and publish loop, and absolutely nails it. Other tools try to be an entire NLE with AI bolted on, or they try to be a templating engine for reels that all look exactly the same. Vizard feels like it was built from the ground up to help creators repurpose long form into short form repeatedly and quickly. You get repeatable output that still sounds like you, rather than some weird robotic version of your content. Another practical note, you still get plenty of creative input if you are feeling stuck on a particular clip. Vizard can suggest different ways to edit a clip for engagement, like faster cuts or adding a text hook at the very start. It is like having a junior editor who is always ready with variations you might not even think of at 2 in the morning. Now, to keep this real, Vizard won't replace a full-time senior editor for long-form documentaries or VFX-heavy stuff, and you will still want proper tools for color grading your high-end cinematic projects. But for the vast majority of creators, podcasters, live streamers, educators, and coaches, where the real win is volume, consistency, and speed, Vizard hits the sweet spot. It is not trying to be a complex industry-standard software. It is trying to be the fastest, most reliable path from your raw recording to a week's worth of shareable clips. Pricing is also quite flexible, with plans for hobbyists up through teams, so you can start small and scale up as you grow. Unlike some enterprise-only solutions that cost an arm and a leg, Vizard lets smaller creators try things out without a massive investment. If you want to see this in action, I filmed a quick behind the scenes where I fed a full YouTube recording into Vizard. I ran our edit rules and got to a near finished set of clips in under 10 minutes. The first pass was so close that all we needed were a couple of titles and thumbnail swaps before scheduling. Honestly, with 5 minutes of tweak time, we had a full week's worth of content lined up and ready to go. I will link that walkthrough in the description so you can see the exact steps we take. To wrap it up, there are lots of shiny apps with AI stickers on them that overpromise and then underdeliver. There are also great pro tools that are amazing for bespoke edits if you have got the time and the specialized skill. Vizard sits in a pragmatic middle ground. It gives you real editorial choices, quality results fast, and the workflow to get content out consistently. If your goal is to stop being the bottleneck and start directing a reliable production line of short videos, it is absolutely worth a look. Like I said at the top, not a sponsor, just a creator who is tired of wasting time on repetitive editing tasks. If you want the walkthrough and our exact recipe for how we instruct the AI to cut in our voice, check the links below. And if you are experimenting with repurposing long content, try setting up a schedule first, commit to a cadence, and let the tools handle the rest. You will be surprised how much momentum that creates for your channel. So see you in the next one, and cheers.